Hi, this is Trey Passer. I'm doing my review of High Noon, starring Gary Cooper, uh, Grace Kelly, Thomas Mitchell, Lloyd Bridges is in this as well, Lon Chaney Jr., Henry Morgan is in this as well, and also Lee Van Cleef is in this as well. This is a classic that came out in 1952. This was produced by Stanley Kramer and directed by Fred Zimmerman. This is a Western classic. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I haven't seen the whole thing until today. And this is, again, I love Westerns. Again, I absolutely love Westerns. And this one is a classic. And this is basically the story of Marshall Will Kane, played by Gary Cooper. He's on the day he's going to get married to a Quaker girl, played by Grace Kelly. Uh, and he's about to leave town and hang up his badge as the marshal. Uh, Somebody that he sent up, Frank Miller, somebody he sent up years ago, basically got acquitted. Okay, and he's due to come on at noon to town with his three cohorts who are already there to basically kill Will Kane. Okay, he swore years ago when he got sentenced that he would come back and he would kill Will Kane, Marshall Will Kane. So obviously, like I say, he gets married and he's getting ready to leave when he finds out this guy is coming back for him. And of course, the people, town people tell him to leave, and he heads out at first. He gets on, because I think it's like 10:30 or whatever. So he decides, he gets in this wagon with his wife, and he decides to take off. But then on the way out of the town, he decides, you know what, I can't run. Okay, I have to face this head on. So against the protestations of his wife, his new wife, who's a Quaker, he turns back around and comes back to town. Okay, and because the new sheriff that's due to take over for him, or marshal, I know, is supposed to come back. Uh, it's not due to, or the marshal, the new marshal that's supposed to come back is not due to the next day. So he feels he has to come back and confront this Frank Miller character and his cohorts. Okay, and of course, that guy is due to come on the new train, and of course he tries to get help from the townspeople, who basically turn their back on him. Some of them want to help, but majority of them don't really. They kind of turn their back on him. Okay, even his wife, who's, she says, "Listen, I can't." She pleads with him to leave, but he said, "Listen, I have to do this." He said, "I have to confront him, because if we don't, if we go off, he's gonna find us. He's gonna find me. Okay, I have to confront this." Of course, so she wants she wants no part of it. She doesn't want to see him gunned down, so she decides that she's going to leave on the new train, and she's going to leave. And at the same time, like I said, he's trying to get people to help. The deputy marshal that's there, played by Lloyd Bridges, he kind of resents Will Kane, because he didn't get hired to be the new marshal because he's leaving. Okay, so he kind of resents him, and he even hands his badge because he kind of resents that they didn't appoint him the new marshal. Okay, and he thinks Will Kane had something to do with it. Okay, and this movie again is fascinating. Gary, it's of course filmed in black and white, and it's a fantastic western. The images is just stark in this movie. A lot of close-ups, a lot of tension in this movie, which is absolutely out of this world. Okay, there's a great shot in this movie where you see after you see Will Kane comes out. He comes out of the church, and you see this like nobody on the street. The camera pans from him on the street, and it pulls back slowly to show you that he is basically all alone and by himself. And it gives you, it's just that tension there, because you have the three men that are waiting at the station for the train to come in. Waiting for Frank Miller to come in. His brother and his two friends. They're waiting. They're biding their time, and you see Will Kane going around town basically asking people to help. To deputize and help, that he cleaned up this town before, and he needs the people help now. Of course, uh, a large majority of them basically turn their back on him. Some of them are friends with Frank Miller. Some of them are just scared. Okay, and it's a really nerve-wracking, movie. Great, they do a great job with the tension and stuff. And I think Gary Cooper is just absolutely fantastic as Will Kane. You feel, his desperation, but as you also you have to admire his bravery, because he knows that he has to confront this, because if he leaves, he's just delaying the inevitable, that he's going to have to confront Frank Miller, and he feels, I have to do it now. I can't run. Okay, and of course you get good performances out of Grace Kelly as the Quaker girl, his new wife, who you know, of course she's afraid for him, but at the same time she doesn't want to be around violence and stuff because things have happened in her past that she, you know, to her brothers and her father. I think she even explains in the movie. So, you know, she's trying to leave. You know, so she's determined to leave because she doesn't want to see him get gunned down. And you also have a nice performance of Katie Giraldo. She plays Helen Maria. She was, I guess, a former girlfriend of Frank Miller and Will Kane. And of course, she's leaving town as well. Of course, and she doesn't, you know, you can tell she still cares about Will Kane, and she doesn't want to see him gunned down either. So she's leaving as well. And then you have Lon Chaney Jr. He plays Martin Ho, a guy that trained Will Kane, but he can't help because he has I think his knuckles he has really bad arthritis, so he can't even help. And he even, again, a lot of the people plead with him just to leave, just just leave town and just go but he feels that he has a moral obligation to confront him. He can't leave. He can't just leave. He'll be delaying the inevitable and and giving into lawlessness. So he felt he has to stay. And again, you couldn't put a better actor to play that this character of Will Kane. I think Gary Cooper is just absolutely perfect. As you can tell him you can tell he's brave, but he also at the time he's realistic. He's not the guy that thinks he's bulletproof or anything else. But but he feels he has to do what he has to do, and that's why he goes around asking the townspeople, and the townspeople debate it left and right and all this. But at the end, he's by himself, and he has to confront him by himself. And it's a really, again, the tension is really done extremely well. Again, a lot of, I think the black and white does help a lot, and you see people sweating in this, and you can just the tension, the light, and the close up, a lot of good close-ups and stuff, and it's just shot really well and you just feel the tension in what's going to happen, and just so it's just, now I understand why it's the classic that it is. It's just a fantastic movie, and you definitely have to see High Noon. It is a classic for a reason, and it's absolutely outstanding. And I definitely recommend it. I give I love a good Western. I would give this Western an 8.5 for sure. This is just a classic, okay, and for good reason. Okay, anyway, let me know what you think. If you've seen High Noon, what do you think of it? I know they did a bunch of TV movie remakes, but see the original. Okay, that's the one to see. Okay, I think I saw they did a TV movie with Lee Majors. So I think it was High Noon Part 2: The Return of Will Kane, or something when he came back or something. But I think I saw that it was on cable like years ago. But trust me, see the original. Okay, I love a good Western. Gary Cooper is the man. 8.5, definitely worth checking out. I definitely highly recommend it, especially if you love Westerns. Anyway, let me know what you think of High Noon. If you've seen it, what do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. If you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram in the description box, as well as my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. This is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.